We are back for another Christian review of regular books, and this time we're talking about The Bright Years. Let's get into it. For those of you who haven't been to one of these videos before, I do have a video that's pinned to the top of the playlist, and it talks all about my Christian reviews of regular books, what they're about, what to expect, etc., etc., etc. However, first we're going to go into my regular review, then we're going to go into my Christian review, and I'm going to try to do all of this without spoiling the book for you. As always, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and the bell so you always are staying involved with these Christian reviews of regular books and me and my mom's podcast called The Journey We Share, which is all happening on this channel. I also want to let you know that I am on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I do have my own YouTube channel that goes more into the day-to-day of what I'm reading and rating and loving. You can find everything you need to stay in contact with me down below in the description box, so go ahead and check that out. But let's go ahead and get into my regular review. The Bright Years came to me as an ARC from the publisher, so thank you so much to Simon & Schuster's and the Simon Buddy program for the opportunity to read this book. When I tell you that I was not expecting to love this book so much, I cannot express to you how serious I am. Like, I truly went into this book thinking, great, I'm gonna read it, I'll give feedback, fantastic. Now listen, I am an avid historical fiction reader. I love historical fiction. And probably one of my favorite historical fiction authors is Kristen Hanna, who I feel like is just the GOAT of writing historical fiction in a way that keeps you engaged and interested and learning so much. So when I picked up this book, knowing it's kind of a historical fiction, but it comes up to present, it deals with like multiple generations of one family and the dynamics that go on, I felt like that could either be a huge win for me and what I like, or kind of feel a little bit slow. However, I'm happy to report that for me, this book was a 100% perfect depiction of a historical fiction. I have not cried harder in a book since I read The Great Alone with Kristen Hanna. I sobbed so loud at the end of this book that I woke up my husband, and he thought that something was wrong. He actually had to come and check on me. He thought I was seriously hurt or sad or upset about something, and I had to explain, no. I'm just forever emotionally invested in these characters. I will be thinking about them till the end of time, and so I'm just crying because it's over, and I'm crying because of how it ended, and I don't really know how to go from there, you know? So that's what I want. That's what I want from a book like that. I want a book that kind of like emotionally brings me into these characters, that make me feel like I'm part of the family, that make me feel like I'm part of the story, and that's exactly what she did in this book. Like, just chef's kiss. I think this book deserves all the hype and praise. It actually comes out on April 23rd, so make sure you pre-order it because it's definitely worth it, and I definitely rated this book 5 stars. It was beautiful. Now let's go ahead and get into my Christian review. The first category I always love to touch on because Book Talk loves it is smut or spice, and there is one scene that I had to fast forward through. That's it, one scene. And it was very minor. It was almost completely fade to black, and I loved it so very much. It was so minimal, so easy to skip, and I do feel like it helped with the storyline overall because of how it was told, but again, very easy to skip past. The second category I always love to touch on is explicit language, and there is some minor name calling or explicit language throughout this book, but it is extremely minor, and again, very easy to kind of read through, that it makes sense with what's happening to the characters in that moment. It doesn't feel unnecessary or over the top. I don't even know that you'd necessarily recognize it if you were reading it, so that is a win. The final thing I will say is it does deal with 2 kind of high drama topics. The first one is alcoholism, and the second one is domestic violence. Both of them are talked about through the story. It's not idealized or said as a good thing, but it deals with these topics head on and how you deal with that as a family. And so if those are categories or areas that maybe feel too sensitive for you, or that's not something you want to read about, that would be probably a good choice for you. However, I think that it is really tastefully done. And so if you are someone who is okay with reading about those categories or those topics, I think you could really get a lot out of these books. Ultimately, I think the age range for a book like this would probably be 16, 17 and over. I think that there is some really good familial dynamics with teenagers throughout this book that could be a really good topic to talk about, even with teenagers or in conjunction with, if your teenager would be willing to read it with you. I think it was so beautifully well done, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I did. Don't forget to follow me over on Goodreads so you can see what I'm reading and rating in real time. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and my own YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, and like these videos, and make sure to hit that bell so you don't miss anything having to do with my Christian reviews of regular books or our podcast, The Journey We Share. Cannot wait to see you guys on the next one.